Yo guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing fantastic, and as we are headed towards the end of summer, I think I am ready for the autumn season, and just looking forward to creating some interesting looks. Now, as a minimalist, or like as a person who likes minimalism in design, I have always seen myself drawing inspiration from the 90s minimalism. I think that era in particular is just symbolic and like almost like a synonym now for minimalism, because there's the term, it officially owns the term 90s minimalism. So what is it all about, and what brands you can look at for buying such pieces? This video is all about that, so stick around and let's look at that. But first, if you're new to my channel and like minimalist menswear, please check out my other content. I have tons of stuff. And without further ado, let's look at the brands that I think are best suited to creating such styles and, adding key pieces to your wardrobe. Now, when you talk about 90s minimalism, what does it essentially mean? Me personally, 90s minimalism is a mix of timeless elegance, a bit of tailoring, a bit of casual chic, and a bit of preppiness. I think all of this combined makes 90s minimalism. I have looked at tons of pictures, and there is just like what would separate 90s minimalism to like regular minimalist clothing. I think there is this chic factor for me that changes that a lot. Like 90s minimalism has a certain edge of tailoring, a certain edge of refinement, but at the same time, it's a really, really functional outfit. So if you're wearing something into, not for a particular event or an occasion, but if the event or an occasion comes up, you're still ready to go. So that is the versatility that I really love about this. And all the brands that are featured, you can get such pieces depending on what is the piece that you require. So in order for this to go well, I think we go ascending. So I'll go with the most accessible fast fashion to a bit more higher end, and then, everything in between. So let's dive right into it. And the first one I have for you is Zara Origins. Zara has been kicking it out the park with Zara Origins. I think this line has specially been constructed to give you, very high quality staples. I think as we are moving into young adults and adults, even as a generation, Zara as a business has figured this out. And Zara Origins, I have some videos on my channel which talk about the quality and review some products from it. I really like the quality of this line from Zara. I think it's specially designed to give you higher end, better produced, more consciously derived clothing, and you always have this monochromatic palette. So the color palette in this is always your black, white, gray, and then the other neutrals. There are some statement colors, but always muted down, always pared back. So anything you pick up from them is going to be adding up to your, style and helping you create that really 90s look. And moving on from Zara, of course, we have the sister, which is Massimo Dutti, and they have a line called Studio. I'm expecting some pieces, so even if you are interested in them and their quality, I've covered some in the past, like 2 sweaters. I've ordered 2 selvage denim from them. I think this is, again, what they conceived in Zara, they've tried to replicate with Massimo Dutti at a higher price point. I think the price point for Zara Origins and Massimo Dutti is somewhat at par. Some pieces in Massimo Dutti might be a bit more expensive just because the position of the brand itself. Now, this line was also conceived to be, a contemporary line that provides you classic pieces with a modern edge and, refined tailoring, refined materials. So that's what's going to help you to create those 90s look. I think this is a fantastic place to get something that is akin to a black blazer or, a nice sweater. That's what they do well. So this is that. And moving on to the next one, which is Oakenford. Now, if you've lived in Canada, you're pretty familiar with this brand. This is super popular with the women here especially, but I think guys might be sleeping on it. I, over the time, have picked up some interesting pieces, and the quality is really particularly nice, especially for the price point that I paid for it. And there is this Asian sort of element to it, because I think the brand's owned by Koreans, and it derives a lot of asymmetrical cuts. So if you're looking for something particular that has, something that stands out a bit from the classic ones, I think Oakenford can give you something more on the preppy, edgy side probably of things. So check that out. Moving on further, we are looking at something that sits right at the intersection, and that is Calvin Klein. Now, CK is like 90s minimalism, symbolic and synonymous with minimalism. Calvin Klein is one of the, official minimalist designers of that era, along with some others. And CK has always had this classic Americana minimalist approach, especially with CK jeans, which used to have these really 90s dated wash. I think the heyday of the brand was also the 90s. So CK, I think, is a great place. I have not been buying too much from CK since the past few years, but I do always wear their undergarments, and my underpants are always CK. I love them for that. So CK sits right in there. So the pricing could be tricky. You can find them in an outlet mall at throwaway prices, and then you can go to Calvin Klein, the stores, and you can pay a premium. The added advantage to all 4 brands that I mentioned so far, 3 brands out of them are available across the globe at a retailer or their official stores. So it's really accessible stuff. And then now we're moving on to a bit more higher end. And for this, I have 2 more brands. So first off is my favorite, and it's from New York. It's Theory. Theory is essentially sealed in this era, sealed in the, minimalist, everyday, casual, chic, elegant, preppy clothing. I love the consistency of this brand. When I scout through Theory, I usually like pretty much 8 out of 10 pieces, which tells you a lot. I think they really focus on creating a garment that is functional, that has good materials, and that has very good styling, which is essentially timeless. Most of these clothes would fall into some way of a 90s minimalist styling because of the tailoring aspect of things. I think I would buy a lot more from Theory had I been in the US. I think it's a great proposition there. I've bought some pieces, and there are some Theory pieces on my channel, so check them out. I'll try and link interesting links in the description for this one. Theory Outlet, before I forget, is a fantastic place to purchase Theory because, you can slash off the prices by a mile, and they ship to Canada, they ship worldwide as well. I think duties is another hit or miss for you, but if you're in the States, definitely check out Theory. And then moving on from Theory, I think this is alternate brand from the West Coast. So Theory is from New York. The other brand that I'm talking about now is California Arts. Now, I have seen California Arts on my Instagram, and I follow them since the past few years. I think this is really elegant. Like, this is really high end. Their pieces are few. It's like a capsule sort of collection, but really high end. They bring the West Coast minimalism to a fair here, but they also make references in particular to 90s minimalism. So this is your go-to place if you wanted to pick pieces, because their design has been conceptualized on the idea of 90s minimalism. The California Arts, I also love the name. I think there is this edge to it. There is this wow to it. I unfortunately have not been able to drop the money on them, but I would love to get a piece from them. And if you have experience with California Arts, please do mention in the comments down below, because we love to hear from that. The other thing that I find particular about California Arts is the fact that they seem to be also hinting at mid-century modern, which is my other derivation, which is the other thing that I love about them. So it's a cross between 90s minimalism and mid-century modern. Essentially, to boil down my point, is that 90s minimalism, or the looks or the brands that I just mentioned, give you this casual swave, this dress up, dress down, this always well-dressed sort of feeling, while keeping it super simple, while keeping it almost monochromatic, or all the tones, at least in an outfit, are monochromatic, or have a lot of blacks, a lot of blues, grays, and basic colors going in. There's this touch of gold, there's this touch of preppiness, there's this touch of playfulness, but at the same time ready for the occasion, whatever it may be, depending on the outfit. So with that in all, I think that I've covered some of the brands that I feel are interesting for 90s minimalism or creating those styles. If you do know of more that I may be interested in, you think, please always leave them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, wherever you are, have a good one. Latest. Bye-bye.